I remember when we were the Beanie Boys.
Oh, Beanie Boys have been dead.
But now, it's just like Andy giving away his toys.
Andy Dufresne in prison?
Yes.
Yes.
My
own prison?
Baby, we here. Sorry, I just need to get out my morning screams.
Yeah. Start your day with a good morning scream.
If you're not morning screaming in the morning, instead of a cup of Joe, which if I was to drink coffee, I would definitely drink Bench Warmer Brew, sold exclusively by Brandon Perna. And by exclusively, I mean it's not that exclusive, but it's exclusive
We're getting
enough.
Jess is launching her tea soon.
What's it called?
Creativity. All me. It's like Jess's creativity. Jess Brain, some shit. We just got a full packaging yesterday, so it's really good too.
What kind of tea?
It's like a strawberry lemon tea, and I don't like strawberry flavored stuff. But this is, and it doesn't have caffeine. So when I was fighting through whatever cold, I was drinking it like every night, and I was like, this was a good selection.
All right, there you go. Also,
we steer
you in the right direction. Welcome to another edition of the Grossi Perna Show. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna, and this is GPS. Yeah, let's go, baby.
Woo.
We here. Hey, happy freaking fracking birthday! Happy freaking fracking birthday! Enjoy it. Enjoy the day. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy Atlanta. The food is great. Rock and roll. Rock and roll. And of course, we got Lord Taco.
I do have one true Lord, and it is Lord of the Tacos. I pray to him every night, Lord Taco, for financing my life. 1 bow, 2 bow, 3 bow as I pray to Lord Taco. Do you know how many tacos I could buy with that Lord Taco?
I think you should just, with no explanation, just record a video. Don't even have to go on YouTube. Maybe as a short of you just buying some tacos and winking at the camera.
Yeah.
Just no explanation, no words. Just
I need to buy a taco, and then I need to eat it while doing this.
Johnny John John!
Taco man. I want to be a taco man.
Also, I want to tell people of my failures because I did bring it up. I did bring it up on GPS. Basically, I've been trying to get a gift for Brandon Perna for quite some time. Okay,
it's very nice because I have not been trying to get Tom a gift at all.
He is not. It took about 6 months for me to get my packages from 30 and 30. Yeah, it's.
I mean well. I just don't.
It is. It's the meaning that counts. So basically, right. I've been trying to get something for Perna. Like, I got him the Don Draper sign thing. Like, that was a little thing. But there's a stream that we did, and it was, like, a year or two ago, where a question was asked of, like, what Brandon Perna's, like, favorite shows and movies were. And I literally wrote them all down on stream, right? Because it gave me information.
You're like, oh, ideas.
Idiot. So I've been trying. So there was a Wheaties box that was signed by the Super Bowl 32 Broncos that I was desperately trying to get, and I just missed out because I forgot when the auction was. So that was a big disappointment. There was another thing before this one. I don't remember what it was, but it was really good. It was something Broncos. I think it was like a Super Bowl replica ring or something, but whatever. So one of Brandon's favorite, there you go. One of Brandon's favorite movie franchises, of course, is Back to the Future. As he says, greatest trilogy of all time, right, Brandon?
It is the greatest trilogy of all time.
And the third one's not that good. But anyway, it's fine. So basically, I found the actual pamphlet, like the actual brochure
for
Save the Clock Tower from the first movie. And I was like, yes. And not a lot of people were bidding on it. And I was like, all right. So I went out to dinner. That's right. I actually had a little bit of a life last night. I went out to dinner and I had my phone open. It was like, okay, like when this comes up, I'm going to get it. And it wasn't like too expensive. I was like, great. It sold. It was like over $8,000, like plus fees and stuff. So Tommy missed out on that one. So then there was the Sports Almanac. And I was like, oh, that is like, yeah, that went for, I think, around $30,000 or $60,000. So that one.
Yeah,
that
but
was,
when you think about it, that's actually a really good deal considering it can teach you how to sports bet.
It passed. No, it passed, buddy. We were past the year 2000. We're like 24 years past that now.
Oh, they were way off.
Yeah, a little bit off.
What was it? What I thought it was set. Wasn't it set like in 2015 or something? 20
like 13
Yeah.
or something. I don't remember. But
I remember it was like this was the year that they were so like this is what
Yeah.
the future was supposed to be like.
Yeah,
Like,
we
damn, haven't done any of this shit.
Everyone was disappointed. There were no flying cars.
I
Just
wanted a
more pain.
hoverboard so bad.
Dude, I know.
I remember reading like in Thrasher magazine or Transworld magazine, one of my skateboard
We'll talk about it.
magazines, that like we were fairly close on a hoverboard. Lies. It was lies. I was like, oh my God, I could be hoverboarding.
Dude, I remember that. And like the teens, right? Like the 2010s, like there was like, oh yeah, some company is developing a hoverboard. And
They're
there
like,
was,
they
oh,
already know the technology of hovering. It's just
and
scaling
we were
it
all
or
waiting.
something.
If you grew up
Yeah.
on Back to the Future, we were all waiting because like the day a hoverboard comes out, I'm buying a hoverboard, right?
I wanted to
breaking my ankle.
hoverboard into a pile of manure so badly.
I mean, then your life is complete. So basically, I failed as a friend once again.
all right.
But I am going to nail the perfect gift for Brandon Perna. It's gonna happen. We'll get there.
Yeah, what else do I like?
Oh, safe
A
driving.
house on some acres.
I need to buy a house first, buddy. That's just
Let's see here.
that's it.
A
definitely too
stock
soon.
investment.
I think
Add
that's
to
a
my
financial
portfolio that's
a
non-existent.
financial advisor.
Ooh,
question, maybe.
student loan payments. Those are tight.
Lord Taco's helping.
What else?
Yeah, that just sounds like
Need a new
money.
refrigerator. Got to go
Oh.
get a refrigerator.
I don't think that'd be a great gift. I mean, like helpful, but I don't know.
Could
about
finish my basement. That would be so sick if you just come finish my basement.
Sean Payton. How long have you been trying to finish your basement? Well,
I haven't
trying
really
is-
tried.
Yeah, I was gonna say trying's a strong word there.
I wanted my buddy to come frame it,
Sean Payton.
but that would have been like this week, and I got to do taxes, and I was sick. And, you know.
Mm.
Anyway, we will get
Oh.
into some of these new NFL rules.
Okay,
Oh yeah,
I-
Shohei Ohtani.
So-
Woo!
yes, I don't follow baseball, but like I tried reading into this because I kept seeing it all over the timeline. And I was more confused when I started. There was an interpreter, then there was a friend who is he another player? I think maybe who was like in gambling debt, and apparently Ohtani like gave him money, or there was I don't know. Do you understand the story more?
There was sports betting taking place.
Let's go.
Shohei was linked to it,
Congrats.
and now they're saying it was his interpreter doing all these sports bets, and I don't know what the truth is right now. It sounds like his interpreter might be his fall guy. We're just not sure. What I do know is, you know, how much could, if there was like, let's say, you know, you want to get a game to go a certain way, how much could a guy who pitches and bats really control a baseball game? How much? Like, well, how could he really affect the outcome? Not very
Oh
much.
my god, that would actually be wow. That would be if someone in clickbait got over $2,000, they have to go out basically naked with a cue card. That's what John Cena did at the Oscars.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So,
But go out, like outdoors?
well, no, I mean, like, I would imagine on screen.
Oh, here?
Yeah, I imagine the safety of your own home. I mean,
Weird.
I'll be very clear. Nobody wants nobody. It's just blinding light. You know,
Why is the screen just blown out?
if you watch Raiders of the Lost Ark and the last scene there when the face is melting off from the bright light when they open, yeah, that's basically what it is to see me in the nude, especially when I have not tanned. Also, I don't really tan, but
Tom's melty body.
that's true. That's right, baby. Melty body, melty body, melty body. Oh, do I get to have computer privileges? I would love to have computer privileges. That'd be great. Yeah,
I don't have any rules. I can't break rules that I don't even have.
That's accurate. Well, I mean, you do have rules about not putting teams on the power rankings during a bye, but then you do it
Whatever.
anyway, and then
I didn't
Then you
break
tell
any
me-
rules.
yeah, you tell me rules are meant to be broken. You know,
I
that's,
didn't break any rules. You know what's really weird about the Jackson versus Stroud debate, Tom, is like
Yes.
heck,
Worms had machine guns, then birds wouldn't be scared of.
birds wouldn't. Those birds. Texans fans seem to agree with me. Ravens fans were not in alignment with what I was saying, Tom.
it's so weird.
So
it's so
strange.
weird that Ravens fans were like no, and Texas fans were like yes. I don't know. I don't know what could. I don't know that. Justin with a fitty.
Yeah.
For the kitty.
Here's one thing I wanted to say about the Shohei Ohtani thing, because like a lot of people they want to point the finger at the legalization of sports betting, right? And I get why. But the reason we're learning about like these things is because it's been legalized. And if you don't think like this stuff has been happening, it has.
Yeah.
It's just been going through bookies and other things that are not
Or
they're not
cousins
regulated.
or
And you can't like all of the like NFL players who kind of dipped their toes into it and then got the suspensions, you know, the Lions, of course, Calvin Ridley. Sportsbooks will report this to the NFL. So there's like, in my opinion, there's like more oversight to figure it out, because prior, who's governing, you know, bookies and people doing like offshore betting and those sorts of things? And I'm not saying like the accessibility of it is an improvement on anything, but like I think this shit's been happening. It's just now more people who want to do it are going to get caught.
Well, it's interesting because you see the spread of sports gambling,
Yeah.
obviously, right? And so it's more visible than ever. But I would also argue, like, the point that you're trying to make is like there is also like regulatory aspects to it where now it's going to be harder to get away with. Now, again, can you like pay a friend to go and do this? Absolutely, you sure can. And again, like Perna said, this has been happening forever, before and after this. But yeah, it's you're gonna have more of these. Like you're gonna have more stories, because as it becomes more and more prevalent, which it is very, very prevalent, you know.
Well, then just ignore everything I just said.
There you go.
If it's
Also,
baseball, I ain't gonna
Christmas.
read about it.
It's Christmas. I ain't gonna read. Oh no, Demetrius, feel better. Oh no, good. No bueno. You got hit with the kick it in the fudge. The fudge.
God, I am so If it's not football related, don't expect me to read more than a headline, guys. Do not expect that.
Like that's on you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't understand the full story, but Benjamin, listen. It's a very safe way of flying, except for one company right now. But you're gonna be good. You're gonna be good. Up, down. You're great. Gonna be great.
Oh yeah.
Gonna be great. It's really, you get a little nerves. Something, if your ears pop, buy some gum. Right? Try yawning too. Okay. My ears used to pop really bad. I was say, yeah. So Ohtani stuff, that seems pretty wild, and yeah, it's gonna be dumb. Oh yeah, you trust me, we're gonna talk all about the new rule proposals, like the very, very convoluted, it seems, kickoff rule that has been proposed. None of these have been accepted yet. Then, of course, we're gonna talk about the one that's making waves everywhere, about the hip drop and banning that. It'll be a 15-yard penalty. So, that's, you know what, Cousin Eddie, win a fake, whoop, for the kitty. That's a good call. I can get you your membership for AARP. I could pay it off for a few years.
There you go.
Would that be something you want?
Yeah.
Well,
Get off my lawn.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Brandon, by the way, if that's what you look like when you're older, I think that's a good looking older man.
I will
Like,
be fucking
right?
if that's what I look like.
that'd be pretty dope. Like if you
Yeah.
have like that badass, just like gray beard, like kind of just an angry wizard. that'd be pretty solid.
You shall not pass.
Yeah, just like
Get off my lawn, you sucker.
what? You're like, what kind of wizard is this? You want to talk about rule proposals?
Yeah. I got some stuff to pull
Hey,
up
good,
here.
buddy. Appreciate you.
Oh, before
agree.
that, I wanted to talk about the fact that Bijan Robinson currently has a perfect March Madness bracket after one round.
Dude, I don't watch a ton of like college basketball. Like I'll always like have it on the background kind of thing. Of just like, oh, like this is cool, while I'm like doing some work and stuff. But you can't deny it's so much fun. Like when there's these massive upsets, like it is so much fun. Because then you get to hear like their stories and stuff like that. And who doesn't root for an underdog? Besides the teams that lose. But yeah.
Let's see here.
Not so much. Not so much.
So
Quarterback would help also. Might be okay. Might be good. A little bit.
All right. Bijan still has a perfect bracket.
Mm.
And there are about 2,100 perfect brackets left after the first slate of games. And that is out of 29 million entries across the country, Tom. So, like,
That's a lot.
Bijan, like, the probability of that happening is, I'm not even going to read this shit. What now? Last day of my 30. Oh, damn, Charlie. We're going into the same dead zone, my friend.
It's going to get in the zone.
How do you prepare for a prostate exam? Take bigger poops. Those boards don't work on water.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes. Hey,
Dude,
Brandon!
I want the McFly. I should have worn my Back to the Future shirt today.
You should have. And then you could have rubbed it in my face even more. It's fine. It's fine. Aw, there you go.
Nice.
There you go. There
You
go.
will never be able to know his true age, Nick.
No, can never.
He's been back and forth, in and out of time.
Hey, no, I can't afford
Yeah.
that. I can't afford that. Hey, I Stidham though. I'm sorry. Continue, Brandon.
No, I was just saying what Bijan's done is
Yeah, it's pretty
so
crazy.
improbable.
Yeah. Well, listen.
Like the Falcons have a better chance of winning the Super Bowl than what he just did.
I don't know about that one, but
Oh, I do.
Just odds wise, just odds. Yeah. I mean, I do. There's some rule changes because this is around the time like the ownership meeting is going to get together, and this is why we're starting to see all of these like rule proposals. I do want to get into it. Like we could talk about the non-controversial one, but the more complicated one in the kickoff first, and then we can kind of move to the more controversial one, if you will.
Yeah, the kickoff one is not too controversial because we've seen it play out in the XFL, the USFL, and I actually, for the most part, like it because it'll bring the kickoff back into the game, assuming they I don't know if they're proposing to move it back at all, but
Okay. So what I understand, his friend interpreter didn't ask for help until Shohei signed his new contract, and he owed $4.5 million. Oh.
Oh, so here, now that you finally signed that deal.
Oh, hey there. Okay.
Look.
All right. Yeah, no, that's not good. Yeah, it's just a bad look. It's a really, really bad look. Ooh, graphs and charts.
Like the graphs?
Illustrations. Visuals. Okay. You want to click on that? Make it a little larger. There it is.
Larger than life.
There it is. Okay, so basically the premise is that nobody can move, right? So right now, they changed the rule a few years ago because originally what it was is like when the kicker starts running, right? Like everybody starts running and then they kick the ball off. Then they changed it a few years ago into which like the kicker runs, kicks the ball, and then you can start running, right? If you are on special teams, on defense, if you're defending. So now what they're arguing is nobody can move. So the kicker kicks the ball off, and we've seen this before, like Perna was saying, and it then goes into a couple of different arenas. It goes into a landing zone, and nobody can run until it's either caught, right, or downed within the landing zone.
Correct.
Yeah. Look at that. Reading comprehension. So the landing zone is, which again, this is why I think like this kind of stuff makes it, in my opinion, needlessly complicated. Just like, all right, here's the landing zone, here's the setup zone, here's the kickoff start. Like, it just seems like there's a lot going on. But basically from the 0, right? So like right at the goal line all the way up to the 20, that's the quote unquote landing zone. And if it lands within that spot, there are no more free catches, like fair catches, excuse me. You have to run it back.
You have to, yes.
So
inside the 20, you got to return the ball.
Keyshawn Nixon, though, going to be taken off. He already tweeted about this. But then there's additional rules in case it like goes outside the landing zone, if it goes into the end zone, et cetera, et cetera. And that's where it gets even more, a little bit more complicated.
Here we go. So, come
on,
Ari.
Well, that's
copy. Bam. All right. This will break it down a little more.
Yeah. Can we zoom in a tiny bit? Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. All right.
Any kick that hits before the landing zone, touchback to the 40.
Maybe.
So that's probably not going to happen unless your kicker is god awful. But like if you're trying to pop it in the air and force a return, there's a chance it happened. Touchback goes to the 20. Kick lands in the end zone or goes out of the back. Touchback to the 35.
So that's a big difference. So if it hits the landing zone and rolls into the end zone, so we see that. So anywhere from the 20 up to the goal line, if it hits within there and then rolls into the end zone, then it winds up going to the 20, right?
Yeah.
But if you just kick it away, like, so right now what we see a lot is just kickers are putting it like through the uprights in the back of the end zone. Now that would push them up to the offense, up to the 35. So
I love this.
So this is kind of an incentive to be like, oh no, you have to be more accurate on your kickoffs. It's not just you booting it as far as you can. You're trying to get it within the 20, so it has to be either returned or you're trying to get into the landing zone so it bounces into the back of the end zone and start at the 20.
See, this brings back kickoffs. And that's what the NFL's trying to figure out. And it's what I think most fans want to see more kickoffs, because you talk about a play that doesn't matter. It's just touchback after touchback. And in a place like Denver, where every kicker can easily, like once they move the kickoff up too, like every kicker in the league can just blast it out of the end zone. And by watching like the spring leagues, like this is fun. And it eliminates the running start. So they're trying to get injuries out of kickoffs. There's a higher percentage of injuries on kickoffs because dudes are running full speed into each other. So you move each of the receiving and defending team, you move them. You don't give them that running start. You got to wait till it's caught or hits the ground in the landing zone. And you're not getting like a significantly higher percentage of kicks being returned. I thought you would see that, but it makes it more exciting. And I think it just adds to like the field position part of the game a little bit as well. So I like all of this. The thing that will be really interesting is the onside kick proposal that is within this, right?
Yeah.
You got to declare an onside kick.
You could also have mismatched formations too, which you can't have on regular kickoffs as well.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the things that was proposed too. So basically you could indicate to the refs, hey, we're going for an onside kick if it's the fourth quarter, if you're trailing, but it's going to be obvious because you're going to be in a different formation. So the surprise onside kick is gone, or at least with this proposal, it would be gone, I should say.
And the one difference that remains is like in the UFL coming up, you can elect to try and convert a 4th and 12 as like your onside kick attempt, which would be interesting to do in the NFL. Well, I don't know if 12 is enough yards in that situation, but yeah. So I think for a year to try this, because I've seen it, I like it.
It puts more pressure and technique on kickers. Because again, it's not I'm just kick, because that was what it was in the NFL for a while, especially with the new kickoff rules. It's just like, just go out there and kick this thing as hard as you can. Like that was one of the reasons why Mason Crosby, besides like accuracy and stuff for like field goals, but like that he wasn't getting touchbacks anymore. And it was a disadvantage because almost every kicker in the league now puts it in the back of the end zone, or at least puts it in the end zone. And so now that's not going to be the goal, because now they'll be starting on the 35. Also, if Wentz didn't get hurt, I mean, guy was playing like an MVP. So I would think Wentz.
And if you're looking at this from like a player perspective, this increases the value of your special teams players. Something that was valuable. And then like, if you're a special teamer and like 90% of the kicks are touchbacks, like your value as like a third string linebacker that a team may or may not cut because, oh, he's not really good as a third string linebacker, but he's great as a special teams ace. Let's actually keep him around and see if we can develop. Like there's a little bit more like, I don't know, like chess playing if you're deciding on your roster and what guys can do well. A lot of guys stayed in the league via being good special teams players.
Yeah.
So,
or that's how they got and like, or that's how they made the squad. I mean, like when you talk about fringe guys, but you're a really good special teams player. I mean, for the Packers too, they make almost every receiver play special teams to like earn that spot. And that was like a very traditional way to do it.
I mean, Terrell Davis's entire career started with the Broncos because he made an insane special teams play in the preseason.
Yeah.
Like he got thrown into special teams. I think he said he was like eating a hot dog on the sideline before it, and they threw him in. And like he just went down and like just leveled the returner, just nailed him. And it put him back on like the coach's radar. So, you know, I think this is good.
If I was trying to eat a hot dog.
We're going to start off with the good one because now we got the hip drop tackle.
I don't know about top 10. I think it's a little early for that, but I think like they'll be competitive. I think the Seahawks will definitely be competitive. I do like the Mike McDonald hire though. I do like that.
Yamo going to be here.
So, but that was, I mentioned Keyshawn Nixon, like he tweeted about this too. Yeah. Like if you're a returner, like Keyshawn was great. He was an all-pro returner. They just re-signed him to a deal. And people were like, oh, that's a little bit rich. Like, I don't know about that because he's going to be playing probably some corner as well. But now it's like, yes, now he has an opportunity because he was running it back, 5 yards into the end zone, just trying to make a play. And so now it's going to make those returners, like, I love the way that you frame that. You're like, this is what's going to save the kickoff. Because the NFL has had this weird, like, we want to have safety, right? That's been like the big push. But like we also want the kickoff to still matter. And after last season, and I mentioned the Super Bowl, there wasn't a single kick that was returned. It was kind of just like, oh, this is just ceremonial now. But now this would at least force it. It might not be perfect, but at least forces it to say, hey, no, like this is an actual element of the game now. There's strategy behind it.
Yeah, because like if you think about the NFL right now, like there's not a single like returner anybody's worried about. And Devin Hester's he just got into the Hall of Fame, right? He made the cut or just got in. Like, my thought was like, we're never going to see another guy who made a living as a returner get in because shit's dead.
Yeah. I see you, Ray. That's a good call. I appreciate that. I got you.
And now, maybe you get that X factor. Bring it back. All right, so the next part
exactly.
here.
It's a whole different level of play now, and now it's like, oh, cool. Special teams doesn't have to be completely like useless.
Yeah. Now,
all right. Now this one's a controversial one. So if the other one was like a little bit confusing, or it was just like that's not the one that everybody's talking about. Everybody's talking about the hip drop. Everybody talking about it. The NFLPA is tweeting about it. You have players who are talking about it. Because this came up last year as being a big issue, especially like after like Mark Andrews got hurt, right? And it's just been coming up like more and more over the past couple of years about trying to ban this. But where the immediate controversy comes in is that it is so difficult to try and enforce. And like just starting there, just try, you understand it. You're trying to make the game safer, right? That's what they're trying to do. You don't want star players going down or getting injured. But even they are admitting like, yeah, this is going to be tough to enforce like in the moment because it's also a technique that is taught and it's the technique that ultimately needs to get removed from the game.
Yeah. And I don't think this like technique is taught at the NFL level.
No, I don't think it's NFL
And
level.
I think it's the issue with this outside of it being hard to actually officiate in real time. And the reason like the NFL has an eye on it is because the worst version of this type of tackle results in like a guy breaking his leg.
Yeah.
Was it Mark Andrews who went down and it was kind of a hip drop tackle type situation this year?
That's what I said. Yeah. Like that's
right?
when it started to get like a lot of talk.
And I think at the NFL level, it's rare. And I forget was it FSU's quarterback who went down and it was like just a terrible version of the hip drop tackle it was a college quarterback and it looked awful.
Because basically, just to also give some people like what this is. So basically, if Brandon's running, right, and I'm trying to stop him, and I grab onto both his hips, and I basically go dead weight, right? It's like
it's like you grab onto like my hips and you throw your body weight into my legs.
Yeah.
Right. I'm in a vulnerable position, and you use your body weight to drop on the backside of the legs usually. Again, that's like we don't see that, I feel like, a lot in the NFL. It seems like you did last year because you had, I think it was like Warren Sharp, whose Twitter account I enjoy and also hate at the same time. But it was like every single time it's like hip drop tackle, hip drop tackle. It's like, all right, shut the fuck up for a little bit. We get it. Guys make tackles. And that's the thing. Like sometimes you're just trying to make a tackle. And if a ref is in a certain position and he's looking at a tackle and he thinks it's a hip drop tackle and it's not, that's going to put the defense at another disadvantage. It's going to make them think about how they're tackling again. And if anybody's ever tried to tackle people in real time, it is not as clear cut as, this is how I can bring this man down. Let me make sure all of these things go right for that man trying to score a touchdown. Now, there's a part of this where the NFL is saying it can be a thing they enforce via like fines and something like that. And I think that's the only way you can try and get it out of coach it out of the game, is being like afterwards, same way they did it to Kareem Jackson, made him fucking enemy number one last year. And every hit he would do is like, we don't like the way these tackles look. After they've looked at him, slowed him down, however, and be like, that's a hip drop tackle. Don't do that again. Here's your fine. Okay. But 15-yard penalties in games, I think our fear as fans is like, this is just going to screw up the game even more. It's going to ruin defenses. It's going to make it one more thing that's harder for the defense.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to find that NFLPA thing.
Interpreter, like, long story short, interpreter gambled a bunch of money. It was like $4.5 million. Apparently it wasn't baseball. It was on basketball and NFL. I just read more about it literally just now. And now it's a crap show because, so Ohtani's interpreter. So lots of crazy times going on right now. Oh, no, totally not biased. Totally no. But I get that. So basically this comes out and the NFLPA goes, all right, we're going to release a statement on this. And they were not for that.
Yeah, see, and this is what drives me crazy about the NFL every year.
Mm-hmm.
This is something the players seem to almost unanimously not want to have in the game. And the NFL's like, nah, you're going to listen to us. Oppose any attempt by the NFL to implement a rule prohibiting a swivel hip drop tackle.
Yeah, they want
to change let's not do it then, guys.
Yeah, could not support a rule change that causes confusion for us as players, coaches, officials, and especially for fans. Because that's what it comes down. It's like, what is a tackle, right?
Yeah.
We already have what is a catch. We already have all these things. It's what's a tackle now. And to the points a lot of the people in the comments were making too, it makes it more difficult to play defense, right? You can admit that, like, hey, this shouldn't be done. This is not the way it is. And yeah, if you want to try and get it out of the game, you could try and fine it to death, like Perna's talking, because they mentioned it being a 15-yard penalty, right?
Yeah, well, I think that's like one of the things they're going to discuss at the league meetings. Like, there's still an option to like emphasize this, but not make it a penalty on the field.
Mm-hmm.
So,
because I think they want more skill involved with it. More of like, no, you have to aim where you're going to be kicking that ball. That's how I'm reading it. Yeah, that's why. So, sorry, continue, Per.
No, I don't know. I don't remember what I'm saying.
Let's go. But so at this point, you already have players versus the league of saying like, hey, we don't want this implemented because let's just be very clear. The player's basically saying you're going to screw it up. Like there's no way that this is going to be enforced in a very clear, concise way that's going to go well.
Yeah. If NFL players, like if it was a rule I didn't like, but the players were like, we want to see this, I would say, okay, we got to do it because they're the guys playing, right? But when players do not want it, when fans don't want it, I don't think a lot of coaches want it. I think NFL owners want it because they're trying to secure their investments, right? If they lose a player because of this, then they feel like, oh God, I put money in this guy and now he's hurt and it's because of this tackle. If it were a rule I didn't like, but players supported it, that I would be like, okay, let's do it then. That's what it comes down to, I think.
Because I think there's just a history of the league not making things very clear. I mean, dude, it's 2024 and we still have issues with hits on the QB. Like we still have issues with roughing the passer. You know what I mean? So that hasn't even been sorted out because like once they did the Aaron Rodgers rule, which is like the body weight rule, right? It became super
Clay
subjective.
Matthews, Aaron Rodgers. Packers ruined it, really.
I mean, then Clay Matthews got like a whole bunch of it. Okay, they got called.
Oh yeah, he got all the penalties.
Yeah, literally, and against the Vikings too. So that did
like
not
you like
help.
this rule? Suck it, Packers.
But once you make it more subjective, because there are things within the game that are subjective, and like as an official, you got to make those split decision calls. I just don't think there's a lot of faith between the NFLPA and the league of going, yeah, this is going to work out well. You are going to be able to do an adequate job without taking away from the game or not making it convoluted.
Yeah. That's always the fear, right?
So that would be, so that's also like, make them put it on film. Like, hey, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
Sure. How do you want me to tackle a guy who's running 23 miles an hour?
Yeah.
How would you like to do that? And again, like, I want to be very clear. I'm all about the safety. I'm all about like, nobody wants to see injuries. Absolutely nobody. It's just the enforcement of this is not, according to the NFLPA and others, it doesn't seem like it's going to be carried out well.
You have to accept at some point that playing tackle football is inherently dangerous. And you can do a lot of things in the name of safety. But there's a line. And at some point, you start changing what is fundamentally entertaining about the game into something people don't want to see either. And the NFL worried about money. They better worry about keeping their product entertaining, because if they keep doing this shit, at some point, people will be like, this sucks to watch.
Because it becomes so convoluted, people are just like, well, wait. Because like football, a lot of folks, right? So like Perna and I have been watching football forever, right?
Yeah.
So like when
stop using the fucking rugby thing too. Dear God, it's a different sport. They play without pads. So speed is different in that game too, my friends.
It's a different sport, but I also would trust rugby to implement it better than the NFL would too. So like it's two different leagues, but
it's a completely different game.
It's a completely different way of flying altogether. Altogether. But I think that if you are a player, you're like, I like safety, but bro, there's no way that this is going to end well.
Yeah.
Like it just I don't have the answers. But I'm sorry, what I was saying was you and I have been watching football forever, right? So whenever like new rules are implemented or like whatever, we're fine with it because we're like, okay, we understand it, we'll get it, what have you. But dude, like getting into football is complicated as hell. Like American football is just like, oh, that isn't a catch? Oh no, that is a catch. I don't know if that's a catch. And just getting into all the minutia is difficult. This kind of stuff and what the NFLPA is saying is just make it even more of a hurdle for new fans to get involved. Yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah.
It's tough.
And I think like rugby is a great sport. It's a fine sport. But it doesn't translate. There's a difference in speed and how guys tackle each other and how they're willing to hit each other, because in the NFL they have pads, they have helmets, they have all these other things that allow them to use their body in a different way. It's also not as big of an issue in the NFL. It really isn't. It happens sometimes. Sometimes guys tear their Achilles trying to we saw two premier quarterbacks just do this oh shit, my Achilles blew. Like shit's gonna happen sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I had a point too. Where the hell was I going?
I believe in you.
Not a point, but I have something I want to do, Tom.
Okay.
Here we go. There's let's see here. There's 10 rule changes being proposed, okay?
Yeah.
And so on NFL.com, they just have like one line like descriptions of what they are. I'm going to read them to you, and I want you to just try and tell me what you think that rule means. Like some of them you get, but like I was trying to read through some of these. I was like, I don't really understand what that means. It's just one line. There's no like breakdown of it. Okay.
Great question.
Rule 1 by Detroit amends Rule 15, Section 1, Article 1 to protect a club's ability to challenge a third ruling following one successful challenge.
Yes. So that's basically an additional challenge. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm asking you to tell me.
Read it again, or put it on the screen.
To protect a club's ability to challenge a third ruling following one successful challenge.
Yes, because it's basically saying that each team, you get 2 challenges per game, right?
Sure.
Regardless if they're successful or not. If they're successful, you don't lose timeouts. That's basically how that works. So they're saying if one of the 2 challenges that you do, if one of them is successful, then you should be able to get a third. That's how I'm interpreting that. Yes.
So you're not punished for getting just one challenge wrong.
Because you're not a team that's like, hey, I'm challenging twice. If you got it wrong twice, sorry, you don't get a third challenge.
Yeah.
Because then that's also the strategy behind it, that you're not just like wasting the time of everybody and slowing down the game.
Oh, and something we missed. Tush push is not going anywhere.
It is not.
It's not even on the rule proposal.
Good. Because just get good at it. It's not a crazy thing. There's teams that can get good at it. The Eagles are really good at it because they had Jason Kelsey and a really good offensive line, and they've been doing it. You can do it. There's no unfair advantage by having good players execute a good play. And when it's something like that, I'm all for it.
And honestly, I think we saw a lot of teams suck at it last year, and that really helped.
Yes, it did.
It was like, not everybody can do this. It's not a cheap play. You got to have a certain skill set to execute it.
I completely agree with that.
All right, Rule 2 by Philadelphia. To eliminate the first touch spot after the receiving team possesses the ball.
I'm sorry, you're going to have to say it again. I was laughing at this comment.
To eliminate the first touch spot after the receiving team possesses the ball.
So is that on like punt returns or?
I don't know. This is from NFL.com, and it's just, I was like starting to read through this. I was like, maybe they should have given us a little more information here.
Okay,
so we
one
can
more
understand.
time. One more time.
To eliminate the first touch spot after the receiving team possesses the ball. Was that the, like, if you caught the kick in field, it was a touchback? You could, I don't like.
I have to look at this now because now I'm losing my mind on that. Okay.
You want me to bring it up so you can see it?
I do. I really want to read it. I do. I'm a visual person. I'm a visual learner. Oh, yeah.
I'm a touching learner.
Exactly.
I only learn by touch.
Yeah. It's like a kinesthetic one. You just go and you touch things. Okay. By Philadelphia, to eliminate the first touch spot after the receiving team possesses the ball.
Like, so my issue here is you and I know football pretty well. And if, like, you're a fan and you're trying to read some of this shit, you're like, what are they even talking about? I just want a little more clarity. Like, one more sentence to explain what that actually means.
Hold on. I'm doing a deep dive because now I want to. Okay, whatever. Blah 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 blah. This isn't the onside kick attempt, right? No, that they proposed a different thing.
The first touch spot after the receiving team possesses the ball.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, it literally gives us nothing. Hold on. No. We're going to figure this out together. Hold on. I'm going to find this.
I like it. We're like a crack team.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so you have to read Rule 9, Section 2. Okay, first.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to do that.
Okay, so I'm on it. First touching is when, so it's about the Article 2, first touching beyond the line. First touching is when a player on the kicking team touches a scrimmage kick in the field of play that is beyond the line of scrimmage before it has been touched by a player of the receiving team beyond the line. If the ball is first touched by a player of the kicking team, it remains in play. First touching is a violation, and the receiver shall have the option of taking possession of the ball at the spot of first touching, provided no live ball penalty is accepted on the play or at the spot where the ball is dead.
So what this really makes me, and I don't like that I have to say this, we like to give NFL officials a lot of crap.
Yes.
But the stuff they need to know to do that job.
So they want to get rid of it? First touching is when a player of the kicking team touches a scrimmage kick in the field of play. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's... Okay, that's like a very... Because it's Rule 9, but now I have to go deeper into it. So it's Article 2 of Section 2. If the receiving team gains possession, then loses possession, and fouls after the kicking team gains possession, the spot of the first touching is disregarded, and the kicking team retains possession. Enforcement of the receiving team's fouls as customary. But it's not for penalties.
God, I don't need... Let's just chalk that one up to as we don't know.
Okay.
And nobody will ever know. Credit the Eagles for understanding what the fuck that means. Good job, Philly. You're paying attention. All right, so another one by Philly. To permit a team to maintain possession of the ball after a score by submitting a fourth and 20.
Yes.
There it is.
So that's Philadelphia's. That's get rid of the onside kick rule and basically say, hey, can we get the ball back? And it's going to be 4th and 20. So you have to convert that instead of an onside kick, which an onside kick is harder. 4th and 20, so defenses will...
If you have a good offense, you got a bit of... 4th and 20 is not easy, though.
No, it's not. But, I'm sorry. If the Chiefs go, okay, we'll take a 4th and 20. You know that Kermit Mahomes is freaking scrambling all the way down there.
Yeah, 4th and 20, that really hurts a team like the Steelers,
Yeah. Or the Broncos.
Yes, the Broncos are included there.
Yep. Okay. All right. So that one makes sense. Okay. So basically, instead of the onside kick, just make it 4th and 20 for the offense and attempt to get the ball back. Excuse me.
From the Colts, give us Gardner Minshew back. Good.
So that one's easy though, right? So that is basically say inside of 2 minutes, you can challenge a foul that's been called.
Ooh,
I don't hate this, but I understand why there would be pushback to this because it'll slow the game down 1,000,000%.
Yeah.
Right. But there are penalties. I know you're looking at Colts Browns game. There's looking at penalties that literally determine the game within inside 2 minutes, and coaches are powerless to stop it.
This feels like it should be like a booth review thing, right? Where it comes down. It might be a little more subjective there. Or objective, whatever.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, we don't like penalties that decide games. Okay.
I don't think so, Tristan.
But that's the problem. The NFL never made a serious attempt to rectify a poorly called penalty. We watched that with the pass interference thing. Is are they going to commit to actually getting a correct call on a penalty? That's what you have to wonder there.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Competition committee. To allow for an enforcement of a major foul by the offense prior to a change of possession in a situation where there are fouls by both teams.
I think I understand that. So when it's both teams commit a penalty, usually it offsets, right?
Yes.
But if it's a major foul in which the offense does it, then that should get enforced.
Yeah, maybe.
Allow for
this is one of those dumb rules that I like though, where it's somebody gets a face mask and the other's a 5-yard holding, but they offset.
Yeah,
exactly. You could rip a dude's head off, but somebody else committed a penalty, so you get away with it. I kind of like that loophole. Not gonna lie.
Okay. Ruling a passer down by contact or out of bounds before throwing a pass is a reviewable play. Ooh.
Passer
okay. So that's basically
contact.
Is his knee down? You get to review that.
Oh, that should totally be reviewable.
Yeah, it's gonna slow down the game a bit, but yeah, it makes sense. So basically, it doesn't have to get challenged, right?
Yes.
It's a reviewable play. So allow a replay review when there's clear and obvious visual evidence the game clock expired before any snap. Ooh, bro. So this one is this one is if you are in the NFL, you spend any time on Twitter because as I have to say a cajillion times, the play clock on the TV clock is a little off from the clock like in the stadium, the actual play clock. So this would basically say, hey, if a full second or multiple seconds pass because it's at 0 and then they snap the ball and there's no delay of game, then this will basically be reviewed.
Yeah, here we go. Let me show you.
Packers get away with that sometimes. They do.
There we go.
There you go, Kale. Rugby all 4 years of high school. Rugby tackle rules do not transfer well at all to American football.
Thank you, Kale. Every time I think about the game clock, I think about this, Tom.
Yeah.
Get rid of that super chat real quick.
Oh, sorry.
That's Broncos up 23-20. The clock on the field, the ref is looking right at that damn clock. It says 0. But we give the offense this little pause, this little
window.
beat.
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen a lot, but when you see it, and yes, you're right, the clock we see on TV can be off.
Yeah.
That's just
Hey, I'm not
technology.
too bedalled.
But when you see it on the field, damn it. When you see it on the field like that, oh, the Chiefs, of course, went on to win this game. 3rd and 7. It would have turned into what? 3rd and 12? Who knows? Who knows what happens there?
Well, 3rd and 12 in math, yeah. There you go. Who do you think the Broncos will honestly draft?
I mean, I would think they're going to take a QB, but it's just I don't know what they think about the QBs, and I don't know at spot 12 if they're going to take best player available and then assume they can get one of the quarterbacks they like after, because the 4 top QBs will be gone. I hope to God they get somebody good. Give me a quarterback.
Can we look at number 8? Because that's the next one. That's the hip drop. To eliminate a potentially dangerous tackling technique. That's all they get.
Aren't all tackling techniques dangerous?
Hey, more on 11.
You can do a perfect form tackle, but if a guy tries to catch himself by putting his arm down and breaks his arm, that's dangerous.
Mm-hmm. All right, so number 9. Crackback prohibition to players who go in motion and move beyond the center to block a defender at below the knee. Yeah, so basically getting rid of chop blocks, right? They call them something different now, but yeah, basically trying to eliminate that even more. So somebody who's like moving or in motion who tries to do that.
Okay.
And then for 1 year only, yeah, this is...
there's the kickoff rule.
There's the kickoff rule.
Yeah, so we got them all.
The entire one, all of them. Okay, yeah, the first touch one, that one's a little... I need to look into that one more. That one I'm not 100% sure on. Because, like, makes it seem like... Yeah, I don't know. That one's tough. That one, I don't know.
Yeah, it's basically the hip drop tackle. That could have the biggest impact on the game of any of these, in my opinion. And then
the kickoff one, I like it to just see something different. You'll see more kickoff returns. You'll attempt to, and you would hope that, okay, you see what works, you see what doesn't, and then you move on.
See?
You know?
So here's a Warren Sharp tweet I like. Now, I wanted to point this out real quick, Tom, because I found this very hilarious. All right, 1, the Browns are going all in for their offense. They are spending more money on their offense than any other team in 2024. The Broncos, who no longer have Russell Wilson or Jerry Jeudy, but since we're still paying for Russell Wilson, we're top 5 in spending on our offense. Now, we got a lot of money on our offensive line. That's fine. Here's the kicker. Go all the way down the Steelers, spending the least amount of money of any team in the NFL, and they got Russ and they got Fields. Packers, same boat, but it's because all of their players are young. All of their players are young, and they have a better quarterback than the Steelers.
Come on, baby. Let's go. That number, that number's fantastic.
Yeah.
Because it's just dude, wide open. That's why they're able to go get like a McKinney and stuff. Yeah, Superfish, we do the best we can just to also, show the super chats and also keep the show rolling too and getting it to everybody. So, but yes, the Packers, I'm very happy at their spot on that list because you look at like everybody else, which now like the Chargers, because they cut a bunch of people, right? So like Mike Williams not there anymore, no more Austin Eckler. Like Austin Eckler wasn't cut, but you understand, like they're pretty low right now too. They need to clear some cap, but dude, yeah, Broncos being up there, Giants being up there, Cardinals being up there. Rams are also super pricey.
Yeah.
So
They're paying Stafford. They paid Cup, right? Anyway, I found that very
nobody
humorous.
knows, but it's probably going to be a quarterback who goes to a terrible situation, I would imagine.
Biggest bust? Woo. Let's see here. I guess you could look at it this way, right? Of the top 3 teams, Bears, Commanders, Patriots, who do you think is going to do the worst job developing their quarterback they draft? You would say Bears.
I would, but I think Caleb Williams has enough talent to like potentially overcome that, and he's going into a better spot than Fields was.
Yes. I think we're crucifying the Bears for their past a little bit too. There's like a bit of let's see where they go from here. A lot of the criticism's very fair. Oh, I was listening to the Dollop last night, Tom, with our dear friend Gareth Reynolds, and it was it's an episode about the Pinkertons, but they're like at the beginning of the show they kind of just riff a little bit or whatever, right? And oh man, I forget what the setup was, but out of nowhere, Gareth was like, because they were talking about like something bad, something. It's like they're like the Bears, and Dave's like, wait, what? Like they're the Bears. Just draft a quarterback already. He's like, whoa, these guys are taking shrapnel for no reason here.
Yeah.
I wanted to tell you because I was like, oh shit, I wasn't expecting him to go after the Bears for no reason.
Yeah, so this happened on Wednesday, right? Because it was like when we were doing the show, like that's when the reports started first coming out. Because the Lions released Cam Sutton because there was the alleged domestic violence, right?
Yeah, by strangulation.
Yeah, so that's a whole lot of no. So Lions making the right move there until that can get sorted out because that's no good. That is no good.
Yeah, he hasn't turned himself in. A warrant's been issued for his arrest. And yeah, so he's been released. Does not look good for him.
Oh, it's referring to the kicking team not able to advance a muffed kick, negating that to allow for an advance. Okay.
Oh. Is that right? If a kicking team muffs a kick, they should be able to advance that.
I don't know, man.
Is it if the ball hits the receiving team first? Then they...
Well, it's because that's what it was, right? It was...
Yeah.
Who did you say the... Now I have to go read it again. Damn it.
I don't think that's right. Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't feel right to me.
We'll start all over. I don't believe in the Panthers to develop him, but getting Josh Nijman and Deontay Johnson I like. So I'm not crapping on Bryce Young yet. I think the guy needs to just get weapons around him in an actual offense.
I think like what Dave Canales did with Baker Mayfield, I think that should give you a little bit of hope for Bryce Young. Still think they need some weapons on that offense. They just can't draft one in the first round. So I'm not going to write him off. I'm not giving Bryce Young a pass either. He was not good. Mm-hmm. A lot of reasons that he wasn't good were out of his control, but you know.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that is a fun fact. Little Johnny Unitas. Also, yeah, that was a week ago, wasn't it? Like, aren't the police looking into that now? Like, then there was allegations.
Yeah, that's like a sexual assault allegation.
Yeah.
That it's like a lawsuit and a counter lawsuit. Dak is saying defamation of character, and
yeah, he came out and said like never engaged in anything.
Yeah, I'm not going to even entertain that one until we get something like concrete.
We are not the people without zero information. Yeah, no, that's not good. That's not good.
Don't worry, I got a Law and Order Sports hopefully coming out later today if I can finish it.
Boom, boom. There you go. Perna, what do you got coming out? That?
What do I have coming out? What'd you say? What was that? What'd
The
you say?
Law and Order
earlier?
thing that you just said?
Yeah. If I can finish it. It's about the dude who stole the 22 million from the Dolphins. I mean the Jaguars.
Oh.
That happened a while ago, but he's going to jail. And I was like, this story's really interesting, and I couldn't talk about it during the season. There's like too much happening, but
Yeah.
now's the time.
Okay, hold on. Okay. First touch rules: when the punting team touches the ball, the return team can pick it up and return it without consequence. If they fumble, they keep the ball where it was first touched. Oh, so you're saying like it goes like through some guy's hands, right? That's where, and then he falls back on it, and like he can't pick it up and run. He like that's where it is, and that's it. Okay. Is that what that's saying? So that is the muff. That's what he's talking about, like the muffed punt. So like basically, or a muffed kick. If it goes through, they can't advance it. So you basically
No, it's when the
have to-
punting team touches the ball. They're saying
have
if
to-
if it touches the punting team first, it can't be returned by the receiving team.
So yes, exactly.
Okay.
So basically, like runs out and like touches. Like let's just say the punting team runs, touches the ball, right, and then like it doesn't catch it though. The receiving team can't pick it up and then start running. It's like where it is. That's how I'm reading it. Right.
Something like that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
I think we figured it out maybe together. Friday night Q&A tonight. It's probably gonna be a long one too, so buckle up. We're gonna do that. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna rock. Yeah, not receiving team. I misspoke. I apologize. So not receiving team, other team.
Got it.
Kicking team. Yes. I think they're probably gonna roll a year.
Well, I think
Honestly,
making the
one
move
best
from
player
Sam
available.
Howell makes that less likely, but it depends on how the first round shakes out and what quarterbacks are available in the second and third rounds of the draft.
Yeah.
It can't hurt for them. Like, how many more years are you going to do Geno? Like, I think about this as the Seahawks to me are a team the Broncos have to worry about snatching a quarterback
Yeah.
later in the draft. So I think
That's
they're in
fair.
play if they like a guy. Sure.
That's fair. Well, folks, we appreciate that. We're living the heck out of you. We'll be back on Monday, probably, most likely. With
I would
another episode.
assume, yes.
I would assume.
If we
But,
do a day off next week, it'll be a Wednesday or a Friday.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Well, folks, thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. This is GPS. And you have been navigated.
Regurgitated.
See you tonight, baby.